Thank you for tuning in to As It Lays. Today's subject is Cindy Crawford. Cindy, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We'll just get started with the questions.
Okay.
What's something you've tried once but would never try again?
Guinea pig. I ate guinea pig in Peru.
When you're typing on your phone, does spellcheck tend to do more harm or good?
I think normally it does more good, but there was, at one point I was working with my high school, the high school where my kids were going to school in Malibu. There was an issue with PCBs in the window caulk, and caulk sometimes got, well, it was more when you speak into it. If you would say caulk, it doesn't come up as caulk. So sometimes I would have to really make sure I reread those before I sent them.
Is breakfast really the most important meal of the day?
Is breakfast the most important meal of the day? Not for me, no. No. I don't care about breakfast, really.
What's the best trick of your trade?
The best trick of my trade is working with good people because they make you look good.
What's the strangest thing you've ever seen in someone else's home?
Wow. I'm not really the type that snoops around, but I don't know, I can't remember whose house it was. It's just like that they had been living in this house for several years, and it felt like they'd never unpacked. It was like just boxes, and I think that's so not the way that I am. That would feel very strange to me.
Are you a people person?
I am, I think. I try to be. I like people.
Do you drink the recommended 8 glasses of water every day?
I have that as a goal, but it really depends on the day. I think when I'm going to the gym and working out, I'll drink a lot of water, but some days it just doesn't happen.
How do you feel about being the center of attention?
I think the idea of being the center of attention I don't like, which probably sounds weird considering what I've done with my life for the last 30 years. But I also think because I kind of grew up in an environment being a model where you are the center of at least that little world or center of attention for that little day, I'm kind of used to it when I'm in it, but I don't like thinking about it.
What does chilling out mean to you?
Chilling out means no schedule, no plans, no makeup. Probably being at home and just like sweatpants, and even though I know Karl Lagerfeld said you shouldn't wear sweatpants, but sometimes they're good.
What's the hardest thing about being a teenager?
About being a teenager or having teenagers? I have a long list about having teenagers right now. Being a teenager, I think, is just like that inner turmoil between like you really want to become your own person and establish your own identity and kind of separate from your parents, but at the same time you still really need them. And so it's like that inner struggle of pushing and pulling.
What are your thoughts on confrontation?
I have no problem with it, actually. For me, I would rather have the confrontation and move through it than, have all these like trying to guess what you're thinking or feeling. But I'm not for unnecessary confrontation. I mean, like with a waiter or at work, I try to keep it pretty low key. But if it's something that is emotionally charged for me, then I would rather have the confrontation and get through it.
Who would you say is a real Renaissance person?
Lately, I've been meeting, well, I have two answers. I've been meeting a lot of chefs lately, and I think that chefs are really Renaissance people in a way. Like, a lot of them design their own restaurants, and they not only are they into the actual food, but it's like the idea of the food and the social idea of feeding people. But also, I definitely think my husband is like a Renaissance man in the sense that he's a business person and creative and a family man. So to me, it's like someone who's good at a lot of different things.
Are you passionate about any charitable causes?
I am. When I was 10 years old, my brother died. He had leukemia, and so at a very young age, I learned from my mother about giving back. And even at that point, we were raising like $200 doing a dance marathon, but seeing how that was a way of healing for not only my mother, but like for myself, really set me down that path. And so I'm still really involved with Pediatric Cancer and Leukemia Society and the hospital where my brother was treated, which is in Madison, Wisconsin.
When and where do you feel most at ease?
I feel most at ease, I guess at home. Kind of end of day when, like, especially if I work, like the hair and the makeup come off, and just not being, I think so much of my job is about like how things look, that when I can let that go, even doing a radio interview, for instance, I love that because it's like I don't have to be concerned about what things look like. So when I'm at home, I think I have that same feeling.
How is your hand-eye coordination?
Oh, my hand-eye coordination is not great. Like, part of it is because I didn't know I needed glasses as a kid, and so when we would play like softball or whatever, I was not good at. I would always strike out. And then when I was in high school, I figured out that I was nearsighted and couldn't see far, so that helped it. But by that point, kind of whatever those synapses are in your brain that develop it, I think I skipped that point. So I don't think I have great hand-eye coordination.
Is there anything that you lent to a friend a long time ago that you're still waiting to get back?
Other than money? Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. And I'm not even waiting anymore. I think that ship has sailed.
When do you change the subject?
I change the subject if I think someone or myself is feeling uncomfortable and it seems pointless.
Is there really no such thing as a free lunch?
No, there's free lunches, I think. Sometimes I say, like, nothing's free, but I think there's a free lunch, but also nothing's free. I don't know if that makes sense, but to me it does in my own little mind.
Is there anything you do that makes you feel like an old person?
Yes. Yeah, I love a routine, like put my vitamins here, I take them in the morning, whatever. When I catch myself not only having routines, but loving routine, that makes me feel like, okay, wait, you're not, my grandmother's 96, so let's say I live as long as my grandmother. You're not 96 yet, you can mix it up a little bit. Skip your vitamins one day.
What do you want the world to know about Cindy Crawford?
I don't really care if the world knows anything about me, really. At this point, I don't really care what they know about me. The shocking thing, like the thing that's like upsetting to me right now is like how this social media heavy world that we live in right now, how it doesn't necessarily bring out the best of people. It's kind of like the opposite of what you teach your kids. Like if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything. And I feel like on social media, like the opposite is true. And then I think that makes us all like a little bit immune to what people are saying about us, good or bad. You just have to learn how to block out the noise.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And thank you for watching. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.